What's up guys? So today we're going to be unboxing the Cooler Master Liquid ML360R RGB cooler. This thing is in competition with other coolers such as the Corsair H150i and other types of coolers like that. So now I won't have benchmarks on this compared to those coolers. However, I will have the unboxing of what comes in the box when you buy this exact cooler, and I have been told that this cooler is compatible with a RGB interface, in which I am pretty sure it is, and it is of course fully RSync compatible. So let's get this thing unboxed, see what comes in it, and find out what happens once you get it all open. We'll go ahead and start the unboxing here. We'll first remove the exterior layer of plastic from the box. Up there goes the knife. Alright, so we'll start here removing first the exterior layer of plastic from the cooler and or box. If I can get this under there. There we are. I'm going to easily take all of this off. This is a very large cooler, but that's to be expected with a 360mm cooler. Throw that to the side. And how does this thing open? It opens like this. Okay, so it opens from this side tab. Go ahead and open this all the way up. Some foam, set that to the side. And in the box lies this, which I will give a closer view on here. In the box is the 360mm radiator, as well as the bracket and pump for the CPU socket. And it looks like the connections that are on here are a 3-pin fan header, so that is just standard power. I don't believe that's PWM controlled because it's not 4-pin, however. And then a ARGB, so it is an ARGB controlled cooler that can be controlled via a 3-pin ARGB controller on the motherboard. And I'll show both these pins here closely. 3-pin fan and 3-pin ARGB connector for the motherboard. So I'll set all of this aside, and that's a look at how the actual radiator is designed there. Cooler Master logo on the front. Remove some of this external plastic very carefully. Cooler Master logo on the front and sides. And then of course the pump itself, if I can get a good angle at that there. Now, from what I understand, all of this entire ring here lights up, as well as this centerpiece. At least that is what I've seen from the videos. I have not actually turned this on yet. And you will be able to get a close-up view of this cooler once it is up and running with the Intel 10900K system that I will be working on later this month. Set those to the side. The next thing that comes in the box is 1, 2, and 3 120mm Cooler Master fans, and these are all also ARGB controlled via a 4-pin fan connector, as well as a 3-pin ARGB controller. And that is the same for all 3 of these fans. That's one thing that I like about the Cooler Master cooler versus the Corsair H150i, is the H150i is controlled via the Corsair software, which isn't a problem because that software is also R compatible. However, when you have the Corsair software, it requires another program on your computer, and I think we can all agree that the less programs we have on our computer, the less things pulling from its resources. So I will always gladly take the option that requires one less program. And in this we have a lot of cables here. I'm just going to set this down, push this up a little bit, set that down there, direct that down just a tad bit there. And comes in this bag to start will be the female to male adapters for the Rgb connectors on the pump radiator combo, as well as all of the fans. Also included looks like a USB type A to USB B, I want to say that is. Is that one B? I'm not sure. Drop a comment below. I think that's B. I don't 100% know though. And then other cables here are, looks like a reset switch. Okay. I'm not sure why this is included. Not sure on that, but you get a, looks like it says reset switch, so reset switch there. Not sure what this is either. Also not sure what this is. Drop a comment below if you know. This is just an unboxing. I will not be explaining what all of these components do, as I do not know yet. Next is this, which this is a, I can say this is a full 12 volt Rgb connector, and that is 4-pin. As well as another 4-pin connector that looks like one that would go to the motherboard. Am I? Well, no, because normally this would be taken out and the motherboard would have pins like that, and you would plug this into the motherboard, so I'm not sure where this goes. Probably a very simple explanation, but not sure where that goes. I do know it's for the RGB system. Then we have a USB for one to the motherboard and one to plug a USB device or USB cable into to run to a device. And then here we have what looks like a 4-pin fan connector, followed by a 4-pin fan female connector. Male connector? Is that male? Which one of these is male? Which one of these is female? Because this one might be male, because it actually has the pins that are sticking out even though it has the casing around it. As well as this, which I also am not sure. It has like a green and black colored wire on it. I'm not sure what that's for either. A lot of this I don't know. Then here is, I believe, an RGB adapter to convert from Gigabyte to ASRock MSI or ASUS. I think the Gigabyte boards use the 3 pins like this, and then the ASUS MSI, and ASRock boards use these type. Kinda sure on that. And then other things that are in the box here are your actual brackets for AMD and Intel sockets. I'm assuming this cooler supports AMD. Normally they do. It looks like, yes, there's 2 separate types of brackets, so it should support AMD sockets as well. Matter of fact, I can confirm it does here. And it definitely supports LGA 1151. That can be confirmed. And I'll leave a link below for those wondering to all of the specs on this, because I know I don't have an explanation on what a lot of these cords are, but I'll leave a link below to where I purchased this cooler at, and to the user manual on their site to explain what all of these are used for. Some more brackets. Looks like a lot of fan connectors. 3-pin, 4-pin, and a 3-pin there. That is awesome. I'm not sure what it's used for. Oh, and there's another one here. Ah, a 4-pin. Another 4-pin fan connector. So does that split into these? And then here we have what looks like, I believe this is a 125A RGB splitter, so you can plug the female end of this into your motherboard and then split it out into 5. This is probably one of the most useful pieces that you get with this, because it's like you have a lot of RGB devices that you need to connect, and having a 5-way splitter that comes with this Cooler Master cooler is an added star from me already, just to have this extra cable. And then next you have a bunch of screws, thermal paste it looks like, and socket mounting tools. The last thing that looks like there's in this box here is, second to last, is the controller. I believe this is the Cooler Master Rgb Controller. And it looks like you're able to connect all of your 2-pin connectors that I was wondering what they go for into this guy, presumably, as well as some of your RGB and those type of things. And I'm assuming you can control your RGB lights and speed and all of that from here within this controller, which this would assumingly be mounted in your case. It looks like it's powered by SATA. This would just presumably be mounted in your case, so you wouldn't really have access to this. So if you could, preferably you would run your ARGB and RGB wires straight from the motherboard, so you can control it via software and not have to open your case every time you want to change it. But this is still very cool that they include this. And the last thing finally is the user manual for this cooler, as well as warranty information. And that concludes the unboxing of the Master Liquid ML360R RGB cooler from Cooler Master. Thank you all for watching. Sorry if this video was a little bit more on the boring end. I did not get any sleep last night. However, I wanted to get a video together for you guys, and trying to make sure that I maintain the best quality as possible for the amount of sleep that I received last night. But again, thank you all for watching. That is the end of the review.